and we have an amazing workshop to recognize you tonight. We have the fabulous Caton here tonight, as well as his co-trainer, Priscilla. And Caton is a certified trainer, public speaker, behavioral assessor, and a passionate Toastmaster. He joined Toastmasters in August 2017 and completed his competent communicator and competent leader 4 times, advanced leader bronze, club sponsor, club mentor, 5 pass, and is currently pursuing path number 6. He's been a club president, VP education, area director, division director. Wow. And he has achieved 2 distinguished Toastmaster awards and the District Toastmaster of the Year for his district in 2020. And his lovely co-trainer is Priscilla. Priscilla is a cake artist by profession. She's been in Toastmasters for 4 years and has served in multiple leadership roles in the club and area. She completed her area director term in 2020-2021 and achieved her Distinguished Toastmaster Award in August of 2021. I am so thankful that they are here all the way from Kuwait joining us today. They woke up early just for you to recognize your efforts. And we're going to talk about hybrid meetings. I know it's a very topical subject, as many of our clubs are looking to go to hybrid, thinking about it, talking about it. What does that look like? What do we need? And all that. So take it away.
Thank you, Julie. Good evening or good morning, depending on where you are logging in from for this meeting. Here in Kuwait, it's not even morning. It is, I believe, pre-dawn. And that's an hour no human should be getting up, but we are not humans, we are Toastmasters. And I'm really happy to conduct this session. And you may ask me, what is it that I can offer you that you don't already know? And I hope in the next 45 minutes, I can share some ideas with you. Some of you might be already conducting hybrid meetings. Some of you might be thinking about it. And so let me start by saying, first of all, that this is not a lecture. This is a training, and training involves participation. So I hope that we can exchange ideas, learn from each other. Whatever it is that I have to share, this is what I will be doing. So what makes me somebody who can talk to you about hybrid meetings? First of all, I started this topic of hybrid meeting more than a year ago, when we were in the pandemic state and our country in Kuwait was just starting to relax, and I wanted to push the idea of hybrid meetings, especially for corporate clubs. So I created hybrid meetings. I trained clubs how to conduct hybrid meetings. I created a lot of YouTube videos on hybrid meeting. And in fact, I wrote an article for Toastmasters, I think it was last April, on effective hybrid meetings. And I was even paid by Toastmasters for this. And I didn't know that you can actually get money from Toastmasters for writing articles. And that was good chump change that I could use to invest in maybe some more hybrid equipment. So that's why I believe that I have some value addition for today's session for you all. And at the end, you might go and say, okay, let me either continue what I'm doing, if that is what it is, or you might say, okay, this is what I need to tweak, or this is how I need to get started. So before I do that, let me just indicate a few house rules. First of all, as I said, my name is Caton Barreto. I have been conducting this along with my wife Priscilla, this specific training module for quite a number of districts over the last 1 year. And as I said, you can also find a lot of this on my YouTube channel, Tech for Toastmasters. By the way, because it's the word Toastmasters is there, I had to actually get permission from TI to use that word, and they reviewed my channel and said, you're good to go. So As far as possible, of course, keep your microphone muted, use the speaker view, and do put a lot of your queries so that I can try and address them. As I said, this is a training, so I would like to know what you're experiencing, what is your knowledge level, and then based on that, I can even adapt my training to fit the majority of the audience. As I said, I'm joined by my wife Priscilla. She's in the other room. We will be simulating a hybrid meeting, and she is currently the VPPR of Kuwait Challenges Toastmasters Club, but she's also a cake artist. So in the chat, I would like to know my audience. First of all, could you, for example, put your club, which country you are joining from, and are you currently running hybrid meetings? So can we have some interaction, please, in the chat? California, getting close to starting. So I hope you learned something, Dan. Right. So some are exclusively online. Jeffrey is considering it. Andrew has his first hybrid meeting on 8th. And Smedley, the club that I'm attending today, they have not done hybrid meetings yet. So I think you all are in the right place. And so let's get started. But one hybrid meeting so far by David. I would like to ask people like David, when you conducted the hybrid meeting, is it something that, let's say, maybe one member is the tech-savvy guy who did it, or is it something that you all are comfortable in the club? What was your experience, David? Maybe you could unmute yourself and share your hybrid meeting experience?
Sure. It was a little bit different because we meet at a corporation, so we actually have a great setup.
You have access to all the technology.
Yes, but it will be an ongoing issue because we had one person there who really got it all set up and running. He knew how to use everything, and he's training one other person. Yeah. But that will be a challenge going forward, is always having at least two people who could be at a meeting who can run all the technology.
And this training session is specifically, in fact, to address that. I'm not here to tell you how to create the best hybrid meeting. My topic today is actually creating sustainable and practical hybrid meetings, because at the end of the day, not all of us have access to corporate meeting rooms. We don't have access to meeting rooms where we can keep our equipment there fixed forever. We might be meeting in places that we have to go, set up within a few half an hour or so, and we have to get going. So in that environment, how is it that we can create practical hybrid meetings? So that is what I want to talk about. So this is an example of what what David was just talking about, that you go inside a room like this, and everything is set up because it's a corporate environment. They have the best equipment to conduct hybrid meetings. But this is a scenario which many of us Toastmasters, especially because we are non-profit, might not be able to have access to. Recently, in the official Toastmasters group on Facebook, I don't know how many of you all are members of it, I saw a very interesting post by a very senior Toastmaster, George Marshall, and he was talking about one club that invested $2,300 to conduct hybrid meetings. Oh. Now, my question to you is, how many clubs here can say, I have $2,300 to spare to initiate a hybrid meeting? If you have, you may want to hire me as your consultant to give you the best bang for your $2,300. But, As I said, we are a non-profit organization. We don't have access to that kind of funds. And perhaps even if you buy that kind of equipment, as I said, you might not be able to physically install it every time that you have the meeting, unless you have exclusive access to that meeting room. So we need to think about practicality. So if, for example, my club, we do hybrid meetings. We go to a meeting room that is provided to us by one company, not a very big meeting room. And we need to be sure that we can set up that hybrid meeting in less than 30 minutes, because if not, it will be difficult. Somebody will have to invest really a lot of time and then they will get fed up. No, this is too difficult. Secondly, if you are relying on just one or two person, and so that's the sustainability part of it. Like, I'm the tech savvy guy and the whole club relies only on me to conduct the meeting, then what happens one day when I cannot, if I'm busy at work, I'm sick, and then your whole club culture is to conduct hybrid meetings because there are many members from all over the world maybe joining in, and then say, oh, we don't have this key person to run the hybrid meetings. So whatever we create, at least my training today is to focus on what can, as all clubs who are not really tech savvy, do to conduct a hybrid meeting. So that's the sustainability part, that you should be able to conduct the hybrid meeting after meeting, not relying on one or two people, because that becomes your single point of failure in conducting effective hybrid meetings. Especially, I believe if, let's say, Smedley Club wants to conduct hybrid meetings, you have a lot of members from all over the world. So they would want to make sure that, okay, whoever is meeting in person, the rest don't feel left out, or they don't feel like second-class citizens. They have the same experience what the in-person people are experiencing. And before I start the whole topic about hybrid meetings, I want to stress the importance of hybrid meetings now in the environment that we are in. I work in IT, and all of us can, I think, in some way or the other agree that the landscape at work has changed significantly. Mm-hmm. We conduct all our projects essentially remotely or hybrid. So the skills that we learn in Toastmasters obviously will help us just like how before our skills in public speaking used to help us in our career. I believe the skills that we learn in conducting effective hybrid meetings or effective online meetings is going to be a big part of our personal growth at work. So there is a value in learning these skills. So let me look at the technology of the hybrid meeting. What is it that we really need to know or have with us when we go to the meeting room and want to say, let's start a hybrid meeting? So obviously you can start with a laptop or even a mobile. So you need to start which has an internet connection. So that's obvious. You need a microphone. You need a speaker, a device that can be heard by the people in the meeting room because it needs to be relatively loud. And you need a camera or cameras so that you can show the video of the physical room to the online attendees. And finally, you need a display because in your room where you're conducting the hybrid meeting, you would like to see the online audience. So these are the 5 components of any hybrid meeting. But if you really think about it, if you take a laptop or even a mobile phone for that matter, all of those components are already there. You have the laptop, which is having a camera. It's a web camera, not a very good one, but it has a camera. It has a display. It has a speaker, and it has a microphone. Wow. So theoretically, you can conduct a hybrid meeting with just a mobile phone or phones. And that's what we are going to focus on today, right? In our session today, how you could just go to your meeting room, use your mobiles, and perhaps some device that will enhance the microphone and the speaker, and you should be able to conduct a quality hybrid meeting. So first of all, let me introduce to you the person who will help me to simulate for you a hybrid meeting. And by the way, this is exactly the setup that we use in our club, Quit Challengers. And the last hybrid meeting that we had, I was not in the country, so I'm generally the tech savvy guy. And we wanted to conduct the hybrid meetings, and I told Priscilla, oh, I'm traveling on business trip to Dubai. You have to conduct the hybrid meeting. Now, she is not a tech savvy guy or a lady. As I mentioned, she is a cake artist. And so could she do the hybrid meeting on her own? Okay, let's ask Priscilla, how was your experience in conducting that hybrid meeting?
Good evening, everyone. And I'm glad to be here to be the co-trainer. Well, my experience about the hybrid meeting that was conducted at Kuwait Challengers Toastmasters Club last 2 weeks ago, I must say I was terrified to start with, but once I had everything in place, I felt like, oh, I did it. So I guess anybody can do it.
Right. So let's see what is it that Priscilla did with almost just the basic ideas. She does do this workshop with me, so she has the idea of how to convey the experience of a physical room to the online audience. And she does know when we talk about audio, how we should use the good audio so that we can hear her or any person sitting in that room. But generally, our focus, or at least we rely on a mobile phone. So now, for example, you see Priscilla standing there, and what she's using is a normal mobile phone connected to this meeting. And let me show you the other view, if you have enabled the video on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, we have two mobile phones connected here. So the first mobile phone that Priscilla was using earlier is placed on a tripod, so that let's say that is right in front of the podium. So if your podium is set up like that, all she has done is connected this mobile phone, and that will be a primary device. When I say primary, means that's the device that we are listening to, and the audience is hearing us through that phone. So that has the audio and video connected. So if you were to look at, let's say, the participant list, let me just rename them for you for easy understanding. Oh. So you can see here, what I'm trying to demonstrate is, just a second. So on the left hand side, is the view that the audience will see whenever the person or the any speaker comes on the podium. And as I said, that is shown by the tripod and the mobile phone placed on that, and it is connected to the meeting. And the other mobile phone is placed little further away so that it gives us the wider angle view of everyone sitting in the room. So 2 mobile phones. But very important is that the second mobile phone is disconnected from the audio. And let me ask you in the audience, do you all know what we mean by disconnecting? Because I'm sure after all these online meetings, you all are quite used to having echo that we get, right? Mm-hmm. So when 2 devices in the same room connect to the meeting, it creates the feedback loop, as Kathy rightly said. So the best way to avoid the feedback loop is making sure only one device is connected to your meeting. When the second device connects, it should be disconnected from the audio. If I was to show you how that would work in terms of if it is on a laptop, when you look at this at the bottom left corner, we have something called Leave Computer Audio. So this is the option that you will use when if your second device is a laptop. If it's a mobile, you'll have something similar. You cannot see the screen?
No, we can't see.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by this. So the second device, the third device, even if you have many devices in the room connected to that audio, what you need to do is only one device should be made as the primary audio, and the rest of the devices should be disconnected from the audio. That way you'll have clean audio in the room, just one device. So coming back to that setup, I will show you the main. So this is the main view, that we will place a mobile phone on a tripod facing the podium, and the second view, that is up to you. Place it in a way that somebody remove the spotlight. 1 minute. So that's the primary view, and then that's the secondary view. So the second mobile can be connected anywhere to get a good view of the audience. Normally what I would do is I would place it in the front of the room so that the faces of all the attendees are clearly visible to the online audience. And this way you can then anybody who is online, who's controlling this meeting, can be like the producer of this on hybrid meeting, switching the views from one to the other, so that right now I have both of them spotlighted, right? If I just want to focus on the audience, I will remove the spotlight so that we see the audience. If I want to only focus on the speaker, maybe the speaker is giving a speech, I will replace the spotlight. So now the focus is only on the speaker, but it's the same room, but 2 different views. And if you want to get more creative, connect another mobile phone with a different view, and then you can keep playing around with it, but all using simple tech, because we are basically using mobile phones that you anyway bring to the meeting. You are not talking about any special equipment. The only equipment that is really required, because when we are in a hybrid meeting, the video plays a role, but not as important a role as audio. So if I was to use the audio from the mobile phone, that's where the experience will become little subpar, because first of all, I might not be able to hear the whole room, because mobile phone microphones are designed with one person in mind, not a room in mind. So you need to think of a microphone or any device that has a room in mind, right? So in our meeting today, we are using a simple, very affordable, what we call a speakerphone. And this speakerphone, if you are running a club meeting, which is having around 15 people, a room that is, let's say, 5 meters by 6 meters or something like that is perfectly fine. It has two dual functions. First, it has very strong microphones and it can pick up the audio from all over the room quite well. And especially if you keep it close, let's say 1 or 2 meters away from the main speaker, that will be good. And also it has a speaker in the sense that when I speak, she can hear that clearly, and all the people in the audience also can hear the online audience clearly. So it's a 2-in-1 device. Okay. I'm not saying that you should buy this device. Maybe your room is a little bigger. You might have little bigger speaker phone, but you need generally something like this. Let me just make myself spotlighted so you can see my screen.
Whoops.
That is called, those who know OBS will know exactly what happened there. But desktop view is here. So you can see we call this the speaker phones. There are different ranges available.
Screen though.
Can't see it. We can't see it.
We can't see it.
All right, let me then just share it easier way.
Computer says he's awake way too early.
So this is the type of speaker phones that are available, ranging from $80 to $90 to $100. I'm using essentially this one, $140. But that's the investment really I feel that a club has to make depending on the room size. If your room size is around average, spend around $100, $150. And that will essentially be your first starting point of conducting hybrid meetings. Of course, if you really want to go all out for it, then there are more expensive options available. As I said, one club spent $2,300 and they probably went for something like a meeting owl. A meeting owl cost about $1,000. The same thing. It has a microphone and it has a speaker, but little bigger in size, and it can pick up, let's say, better audio from the room so that the experience becomes little more. But again, it all depends on the size. You always have to look at what's your room size that you are meeting in. In fact, recently I was asked to conduct a hybrid meeting because the international director was attending online. And I went to the meeting venue and I knew a setup like this would not work because they were meeting in a large basement. And immediately you can understand that if the room is of that nature, then a small speaker that I'm showing you might not reach such a large area, right? But that was an exception. But generally the meeting rooms that I attended, where we meet around 15 to 20 people, room size is 5 meters. This is in metric system, by the way. You have to convert it into your feet. But generally 5 meters by 6 meters, that's the room size you all are meeting. You are fine with something like that. That's the investment you have to put. So your mobile phones act as your primary devices for connections. This one simple device that you can carry along with your mobile, it's very portable, battery powered, so you don't have to look for power. It lasts for a couple of hours. So just switch on the mobile devices, assuming of course they are connected to the internet. Connect one of the devices via Bluetooth to this speakerphone, and generally you are good to go. Your hybrid meeting will be quite well executed. The last bit of item that you might want to look at is how do the people in the room look at the online audience? And this is really an optional item in my opinion. Of course, if your meeting room has the infrastructure, it's fine. Let's say a TV, if it is equipped with a TV, you can immediately start thinking how you will use that TV to show the online audience on that TV. Bigger the better, obviously, but it might not be practical all the time to carry TVs if the room doesn't have the TV, right? Mm-hmm. And in that case, you might ask me, how do I handle it? Okay, there are multiple options. One could be a portable projector. We used to take projectors before. Remember, whenever we used to give presentations in physical meetings and we have some PowerPoint to show, we always used to have a projector. So you consider using a projector. The disadvantage of projector usually is that you have to lower the light because otherwise it won't be clear. Though the projectors are getting powerful, more and more powerful these days, a TV works best. If not, maybe even your laptops, couple of laptops can be placed around the room so that you can see the online audience. And in this case, what I have done is I have connected a laptop, as you can see, to the TV and connected it to the meeting, and you are good to go. But as I said, this part would be the one that you really have to decide what is it that you can get away with. If as I said, if your meeting room has a TV, just carry one laptop, connect it to the meeting and put it in gallery view or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you should be able to see the online audience. Can you switch it to gallery view? Yeah. So all the online audience will be visible to those who are sitting in that room, and just keep it in gallery view all the time and it will be fine. If you are not able to have that kind of facility, as I said, carry one or two laptops, place them strategically around the room so that you can see them on those screens. If not, your members could even log into your meeting from their mobile phone. The only thing you have to instruct them is you can join with your mobile phone. Just make sure the moment you connect to the meeting, make sure you don't connect to the audio. Just use it for displaying the online audience. Right? So that is essentially how the meeting can run, and I will give you now a short sample of how it would look. Obviously, there is only one attendee. I could go and join her in the room, but let me sit here only. And so I will hand over to Priscilla to sort of give you a sample of how it will work, and I will control it. I am like the orchestra conductor here who will be running this online meeting. And so you will see me switching views from physical meeting room to whoever is speaking. So let's conduct like one or two table topics. Let's say she's a table topic master. And so, Priscilla, over to you.
Thank you, Gajetan. Good evening once again to everyone. And I hope you are following what has been explained right now. And hope you will use it in your first hybrid meeting, or if you have already conducted meetings, then hopefully this will enhance your experience in conducting an online meeting, a hybrid meeting. So just to give you a feel of what this is like, I'd like to start with a table topic. Our timer will be Gajetan, so you could look at his screen for the timing. We have 1 to 2 minutes, and of course the 30 seconds grace time. Do I have any volunteers? Or shall I read the topic and then you would like to take it?
Kathy volunteers.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I can't see. How many anybody has raised their hands? Let me see on the screen. Okay, I'll read the topic. That would help If snow could fall in any flavor, what flavor would you choose? I repeat, if snow could fall in any flavor, what flavor would you choose?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. What a great question. If snow could fall in a flavor, that would be the most magnificent thing. I grew up in a country or city that snowed a lot, and that was Chicago, Illinois. And so in the wintertime, I remember being a child and letting the snow fall on my tongue. And I would have loved it if that snow tasted like cotton candy. I can just imagine the chill of cotton candy cold falling on my tongue and that wonderful carnival taste and just, that's my answer. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Yeah, talking about Chicago, I've only seen Chicago in movies, Home Alone, that's it. So I get it. I understand what you mean by cotton candy to be the flavor of that snow in Chicago. Our next topic, this is, okay. What would your dream house look like? Be as descriptive as possible. What will your dream house look like? Be as descriptive as possible. Yes, Andrew?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Mistress. I hope you can hear me fine. It's an awesome question. Actually, I am in my dream house. And the reason it's my dream house is something I never dreamed was possible, and it is possible because I'm here. I've been here 31 years. I am disabled. For those of you who don't know me, I am in a wheelchair, and this house is specifically built for a person in a wheelchair. It is one story in a apartment complex of 2-story houses, one of only 3 that are 1 story, so there's no stairs. It has a roll-in shower, so I can get in a shower chair, roll in, wash, roll out, transfer into bed, get dried off and dressed and go. It has cabinets that are lowered for me. It has a stove that is top that is lowered. It is the perfect place. It happened out of just chance. My mother used to work for a gentleman who lived here, and she took his rent. She found out that it was oh my gosh, I got a piece of sauce in my beard. I just got spotlighted, and I was like, oh my. So it's just a wonderful place, and I love it. And so this is my dream home, and I can't be happier. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Mistress.
Thank you, Andrew, for describing your dream home. I'm glad that you are living in your dream home, and it is not something that you're looking forward to. I will have my dream home, and this is how my dream home would be. Happy that it is custom built, and you are enjoying your stay in your dream home. Our next topic, let's look at it.
Okay, this will be the last one, so take the chance, everyone.
What is one piece of advice that you wish you could pass along to everyone else? What is one piece of advice that you would wish to pass along to everyone else? Shall we change the topic? Okay.
Robert has raised his hands. Robert, go ahead.
The one piece of advice that I would pass along to everyone else is that no matter how clear it is what you're explaining, the person who is listening to you may not understand it in the way that you intend for them to understand. So always ask follow-up questions or continue a conversation with someone when you're explaining something that is complex, to be sure that they understand what you are telling them in the way that you meant for them to understand it. That is something that I believe that everyone should keep in mind, especially when talking about technical subjects. And that is part of the reason why I joined Toastmasters, because I was a computer workshop presenter, and my supervisor said, "You're doing all right, but Toastmasters will help you get even better." Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, when you said you should speak in a way that the other person understands, I was just thinking of my son. And right now I'm in that struggle that I don't understand what he says to me, or he doesn't understand what I say. So I'm taking your advice to improvise and to ensure that what I speak is something that he understands. So thank you very much for that. And I hand over to our trainer, Gideon Ketcheton.
Thank you, Priscilla, for conducting that demo of table topics. And I think the last table topic is a good seg into our next segment, that is really sort of driving the fact that, okay, have you understood the simple aspects of mobile phones and a speaker phone and a TV connect to a laptop, allowing to conduct hybrid meetings? Is it something that will work for you? Are you looking for something more fancier? Maybe you are meeting in a room that is not, it's too big to handle such simple equipment. So what would be the other options? Or is it something that what I have demonstrated today, and you have seen an actual example of that, is it something that works for you? Are there some questions that were not clear to you? Is there something in your mind that was not very clear to you? Okay, it works, but I need to understand 1, 2, 3. And so we have another 10 minutes to cover that Q&A session. Judy, go ahead.
My question is it possible to have a split screen in the room so you can see the speaker who is speaking and see the room at the same time?
Okay, so this is from the perspective of the people who are sitting in the physical meeting room?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that, obviously. There are ways to do it, not with the simple setup that I have explained. You might probably need dual monitors. But I would say that since you're already in the room, you don't really need to see the speaker on the screen, right? Because that's the whole thing about the physical meeting, to have that eye contact, that interaction, and putting the speaker again on another screen would be more like those big events where hundreds of people are sitting, and then maybe you can't see the speaker clearly, so that's why you want to put up these big screens. But in a Toastmaster environment with around 15-20 people, it might be more distracting to the speaker to have his image somewhere else projected and people are looking there, instead of creating the eye contact and having that more personalized experience. That's my thought, but it's possible.
I think I didn't ask my question correctly. I was thinking I am on Zoom and I'm looking at the speaker, but I'm also curious how the other people in the room are reacting.
Okay, so that is what I was demonstrating when that's what I was saying. Like whoever is conducting this meeting as the host is essentially doing something like this, right? So we are creating the spotlight. So when Priscilla is speaking, I am just using the Zoom spotlight feature to show you both. right? So you will see the reaction from the audience. They are laughing or smiling, and then you are seeing the speaker on the other side. And so if that is what you want, yeah, you don't need anything fancy. Just say spotlight. Two things, the speaker and the audience. And then if let's say the third person joins in and you want to have 3 people spotlight, yeah, this is possible and looks quite cool, right? So this is the way you can control to make it look more engaging for the online audience, because at the end of the day, you don't want them to feel like they are second class citizens, right? You want to have that cohesive experience for everyone. So this is how you will do it. Katie is the next one who has raised her hand.
Hi, thank you for that. I wanted to address the question of clubs that meet in a noisy meeting room. And one of my clubs meets at restaurants when they're meeting in person. So there's noise, there's background noise. And that means that we have to have some separation, some microphones that might help mute background noise.
Yes, I can address that.
Do you have any suggestions? Yeah.
Yes, in fact, I have that because I experienced it recently, as I said, when I went to conduct a hybrid meeting where this international director was attending, and I realized that this room, the simple microphone would not work because it was too noisy, the place was too big. As you said, maybe it's a restaurant, and so there's a lot of background noise. And placing a microphone like the one which I have shown you, which works fine in a quieter room, would not work in that environment. So what I did is I hooked them up to something like this. So this is a microphone set that you can connect to your laptop through. It's a wireless clip-on microphone. So you basically just take one of the device and clip it to your lapel or something like that when you're speaking. And what it does is it picks up the audio only from around you. It will not pick up any audio from the audience. The only downside of this is that you need to train your people whenever you set up the system, because it costs around, I guess, $200 or something like that. So that's the cost. You'll have to spend a little more. It's a wireless system, also very portable, lasts for 3-4 hours. So you should be fine for one meeting with that, one charge. So basically what happens is, maybe Priscilla can show it. It's there on the table, how she uses it, because she uses it for her speeches also. So let me spotlight her for you. So that's the device. And when she speaks with that, you can only hear her sound. I won't be able to demonstrate it because I haven't connected it to the laptop now, and I don't want, but that's the equipment that you can use. So one piece goes into your laptop, the other piece you clip, and what happens is that, as I said, it removes all the background noise. You will not get it, and it will work perfectly in a restaurant. It has one challenge. As I said, you need to train your people, because when they finish speaking, they'll walk and sit in their chair, forgetting that the microphone is still clipped to them. So somebody has to always keep reminding them, okay, can you please give the microphone and place it on the table? And also you have to train your people or your members so that when they come up to speak, pick it up and clip it and start speaking. Right, so that's called the Rode Wireless Go, and many clubs, by the way, are using it, and they swear by it because the audio is so crystal clear that they're happy with it, and the online audience can hear them without any of the background noise. And the system that I showed you,
good to know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the system that I showed you comes with actually 2 units. So one unit can be kept on the table for the speaker to clip. The other can be kept somewhere in the back of the room, so that if somebody has a question, they can just pick it up and speak like that. So that's the second solution for audio.
Wonderful. And train the people that are using the equipment.
Yes, if you want to go that route, because maybe this is not sufficient for you. Yeah. Andrew has a question.
Yes, actually, could you respond? I have two questions, but the first one is, could you show that so I could take a screenshot of that road thing so I could look it up later?
Okay, I can send you a link in the chat also.
Oh, thank you. That would be wonderful. My other question is, well, first of all, I have a comment. I found your videos on YouTube and they've been extremely helpful in my learning process for hybrid meetings. So thank you very much. I enjoy them immensely. You're a great trainer and you're very, very easy to understand and very explanatory. So thank you for your help. And secondly, my club meets at a community center at a park, and their Wi-Fi, we have found out, only works on a laptop or a desktop. It does not work on a mobile phone because there's a terms and conditions page that you need to click on every time you connect that doesn't come up with on Zoom. I mean, I'm not on Zoom, on a mobile phone. It will come up on a laptop or desktop. But so that's the mobile phones won't work for us. So that leads me to my actual question. My actual question is it possible to run two Zoom accounts on one laptop at the same time, so that we could have the two cameras plugged into the same laptop and run one pointing at the audience, one pointing at the speaker, and have them both logged in to the meeting?
Absolutely, you can do that, because what you can do is, if you have a laptop, it has multiple USB ports, correct? Already your laptop has one webcam. You plug in another webcam, let's say simple webcam to the USB. And then,
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I don't have a laptop. It's a mini desktop, so it's going to be actually two webcams plugged into the USB.
Okay, so it comes to the same thing, like two USB, two webcams. The only thing might be for you is like how I am switching the, because I have different devices, you can see all of them. In this scenario, the audience can see only one at a time. Right? I cannot spotlight two things at the same time. And you will have to change that in Zoom. So when you look at, for example, let me just try to see if I can show you my Zoom screen. You will have to keep changing the cameras from here.
You
right?
can't
So
see
you'll have
what you're sharing, Keisha?
It's not showing up, sir.
Okay. Right. Let me try another way.
But Andrew, if
Well,
you
actually-
used your phone's mobile data, then you could still use it for the meeting.
No, it doesn't work that way. It won't work because we can't connect to the Wi-Fi with a phone. It
But you
will
don't
not
need the
So-
Wi-Fi if you use just the mobile data for your phone.
Yeah. But in
they're all-
general, my
No, I see
idea
what-
is
I see
to
what you're
show
doing.
you.
It doesn't work. There is no mobile data there. They've got it's in a bad spot, and it doesn't come up with mobile data.
Mm.
The mobile
Right.
data is I get 0.6 megabits per second.
Right. So as you can see, what I'm trying to show you is that when you connect your laptop, you'll see all your cameras here like this on the screen. So
Yeah, I do
you'll
know
have to keep
about
switching one of the cameras, right? So that
Okay.
way you can overcome that. But it will require a little extra work from your side, because somebody has to keep switching the views of the speaker or the online audience in the Zoom camera itself on your computer.
What I don't think I explained myself correctly. What I would like wanting to do is actually have two Zoom with two cameras and have one logged into the main, like I was logging in from home, but it's actually attached to that computer, and so that I could spotlight both, because one of them is actually logged into the Zoom meeting. The other one was hosting, like if I had two Zoom accounts. Does that make sense to you? Am I explaining that correctly?
Maybe, because if you notice now,
That's
for example, if you look in the participant list, Priscilla is connected via two devices, right?
Right.
It's the same account. So
correct. Okay, so but that's a lap, one of those is a phone, or both of them are phones. And like I
It could be
said,
two laptops. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It could be a computer. It
Okay.
doesn't
So
matter.
I think, Andrew, is your question, can you run 2 Zoom meetings from the same computer? Is that the question?
Not quite. If one would be running the meeting, and then on the same computer, the other one would log into the meeting, so that I had 2 separate cameras, 2 views.
Maybe not. If it is the same computer, maybe the answer
That's
is
it.
no.
That's what I'm saying, because we don't have the money to buy a second computer or a laptop. That's my issue. That was my issue.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm reaching my time limit, I think. And I hope, first of all, you all have learned something and that you can apply to your own Toastmaster meetings. I'm always available to answer any questions. You can check out my YouTube channel. You can post some comments there. I can answer. If you're a part of Toastmasters International Facebook group, I am quite active there. And if you really need something direct, Julie has my number. You can ask her to give my contact to you, and I can answer those questions too.
Thank you so much for waking up before the crack of dawn. We really, really appreciate it.